Well, hello. Happy Saturday. How's everyone's? All right, so making dog food again. I have a lot of people that I guess the food just kind of shows up every now and then because that's kind of an old video and I guess it makes its rounds on occasion. But I have people constantly asking me, hey, how are you making the dog food? What are you doing for the calcium? Because I don't think I showed you guys that. We're doing all the things today. So I went to the store, picked up all my stuff. It's fall, so I grabbed pumpkins. I prefer pumpkin over the sweet potatoes, but you can only get those in the fall. So I grab as much as I can, and I process them. So I bought one big pumpkin, okay, and then I bought 4 of the pie pumpkins because they're smaller. They're just kind of easier to deal with. The big pumpkin, ma'am, what you want? Huh? Yeah. She's already had some pumpkin, so she's digging that. She wants some of that roasted pumpkin. The big one, I cut in pieces and I roasted it in just big chunks. And then the pie ones, I basically gutted them just like you do the other thing. And we boiled those because I just needed to get them enough where I could get the skins off because they don't eat the skins. Okay? So I've packed up what I don't need, which will go in the freezer for future dog recipes. Ma'am, did you have something you needed to say to the peoples? What are you talking? Come here. Come here. Do we need to say something to the peoples? Were you screaming because nobody was paying attention? Yes, she is eating this dog food because it's natural and it's homemade and it's good for her. Look at her. She got a nice fat little belly. Yeah, okay, are you happy now? Mom's got things to do. Go see Daddy. All right. Right now, I am processing my eggshells. So let me see if I can stick you in a hole back here. Hey, there you go. Literally what we do when we have eggs or use eggs, wow, that's a real flattering thing. Anyway, I use my eggs, and then I rinse the eggshells out immediately, and then I just stick them on my rack in my dehydrator, and we leave them. I rinse them for a couple of reasons so that I don't have to do this whole sterilization thing, because it stinks when you have to boil eggshells. It stinks. And it keeps them from smelling because they're already clean. And then we have a coffee grinder, and this is an old one. I've had it forever, and the only thing that I use this coffee grinder for are eggshells or dehydrated eggs, because raw eggs, right? Exactly. Nothing else touches this thing. That's it. So we just take the eggshells, you put a bunch in, mush them down, right? Get them in there. All right. You clear off, get it in there. Sorry about the cord right there. All right. Make sure they're dry. Right, I know that sounds stupid, but there you go. We now have calcium powder. Yep. It's free and it's completely safe. I have small dogs, so I'm not going to just crunch up shells because that just freaks me out and I'm afraid it's going to cut their mouths. I just turn mine into powder. Baby, you do you. They say you can just like this and give them to the dogs and they can eat them. I don't want to. I don't want to. All right, so I'm going to turn you around real quick and I'm going to show you where we are because I'm actually done with the cooking. I'm letting this kind of cool down a little bit before we start to process out the food, meaning that I'm going to grind it up. Now, I do double pots. I do 2 at a time, and both of these are double recipes. What you have in here are 2 3-pound rolls of ground turkey. Okay? 2 3-pound rolls. I have 1 bag of frozen chopped kale. I have 2 bags of frozen peas and carrots. You can see them in there. And then I have about 2 cups of pumpkin. I'm no longer going to do the brown rice. I think I'm just going to stick with grain-free, and we're just going to leave that out. So I put a little bit more pumpkin in to get the starch level where it needed to be. I did not add any extra water to this. This is basically what comes with the turkey. And then as an added little bonus, I threw in a little bit of my dehydrated beef stock because I can and I know what's in it, right? So I don't want to do over-the-counter, the stuff you buy at the store, because there's all kinds of chemicals and way too much salt and all that. So I've added a little bit. This is at the point now where it's technically done, right? So I need this to start cooling down a little bit because we need to run this through the food processor and get this down into a pate best we can. Now, why do we do that? Well, because the studies basically say you need to chop the food down as small as you possibly can because dogs have a very short intestinal tract. That's the reason that they can eat dead things on the side of the road and it doesn't kill them, because it doesn't stay in their system long enough. It rolls through very quickly. So if you don't grind this down to the smallest possible amount that you can, they're not likely to get the nutrients that they need to get out of their food. In other words, they're going to eat it and they're just going to poop it right out. Make sense? Okay, so that's basically where we are. When we get to the next step, okay, we'll come back again and I will show you food processor, which is mostly all I use this food processor for. And then when I add the calcium, because I do that at the very end, and then we're going to bag it up. All right, come on back. All right, darlings. So this is basically what you're looking for. You need it, you know, pate style, guys. Just like that. So that's the 2 batches. I'm going to put about 2 tablespoons of my calcium powder in that one, and probably about 1 tablespoon there, because that's about half the amount that this is. And then basically it's ready to bag up and go in the freezer. So there's round 2 of the dog food recipe for anybody that wants it. A double batch. Now I do a quad batch, so I did 2 double batches. A double batch is 2 3-pound rolls of turkey, 1 bag of frozen chopped kale, 2 bags of frozen peas and carrots, and about 2 cups of cooked pumpkin. You could use canned pumpkin, I guess, if you wanted to, but I just bought pumpkin. You all saw what I did. I decided to leave the grain out altogether, so I'm not putting any brown rice in at all. Make sure that it's got enough liquid. You just cook all the things together, and then you run it through your food processor till it looks like that. You're going to put in the eggshells that I also showed you in here for the 2, for just the double batch. It's about 1.5 tablespoons of calcium powder. Mix it all in and then just bag it up. And you've got gourmet dog food that's really good for your dogs and doesn't have any crap in it. There you go. All right. Y'all have a great day. Come on back because we fixing to make spaghetti bolognese next.